I'd like to open the agenda for Thursday, April 6, 2023, 7 p.m., Peabody City Hall, Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Massachusetts. This meeting is being aired on Public Access TV. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of 3/16/2023.
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of the minutes of the last meeting with the exception that I misspoke, apparently, on page 4 in regards to 190R Newbury. The wording should be conditionally, not additionally, and I misspoke, so just for the record.
We have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Second item on the agenda is A&R Plan of Land, 1 Newbury Street, Peabody, Mass. Applicant is John Roach, manager of Caleb Division 1 LLC, 529 Main Street, Boston, Mass. Name of the owner is AWH Peabody Hotel LLC, care of AWH Partners LLC. To review the plans corresponding documents for this agenda item, please contact Andrew at Peabody City Hall. Nobody's here to present, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Sam Malafronte. I'm a project engineer with Solely Engineering, offices located at 11 Vanderbilt Ave in Norwood, Mass. So we're here on behalf of the applicant, John Roach, with Yep. Is that better? Okay. So we're here with the applicant, John Roach, who's the manager of Collab Develop 1 LLC. And he is looking to create parcel A from the existing Holiday Inn parcel, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with on Newbury Street. It actually abuts Corporate Place as well, has frontage on Corporate Place to the rear. And they're looking to create a .702 acre lot from the 5.77 acre existing parcel. And yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the A&R plan, but I'm happy to answer any questions and kind of provide explanation regarding the property and the parcel being created and that such, if you guys wish.
This time, any questions from the board? Dr. Otto?
I'm just wondering what the zoning requirements are in this zoning district. Sometimes people put them on a note, but I don't see that here, and I don't have them right in my head.
I don't have them on hand, but I could, this parcel is compliant with zoning.
The parcel A.
Yes, correct. Okay. Both parcels are. That's, it creates 2 parcels that are compliant with building setbacks, frontage. I believe the minimum frontage is either 40 or 50 feet.
Okay.
This has 105 feet, and the Holiday Inn has 213 along Newbury Street, and then additional frontage on Corporate Place.
Thank you.
Yep.
It is zoned BR1. And I have seen a zoning key on the side. I believe they meet everything. There's no lot size and the frontage. We did review that, and they meet that in the side setbacks.
Just briefly, unconfuse me, please. I thought you said it fronted Corporate Place. It actually fronts Route 1.
The existing parcel, the Holiday Inn, has frontage on Corporate Place as well as 1 Newbury, or Newbury Street, I should say.
And what's the reason for,
So I probably could have led with this and it would have been a little bit easier, but from a formality standpoint. So that our client is wishing to redevelop the out parcel once it is created and improve it with a coffee shop development. And that's kind of the reasoning for the unique lot shape, I guess you'd call it. Because it really just follows the limit of the redevelopment. And I actually, prior to this meeting, submitted the site plan review for this development as well.
and that is a state road, you're going to use the existing curb cut?
Correct, the right in, right out off 1 Newbury.
Is the state aware of your plan?
The state is, so we submitted today, so that will start the permitting process for the actual development, and we have no direct access issues with the state, but it's more or less going to be an indirect review due to the traffic generation, most likely.
That's a hot spot right there.
It is,
The
yeah.
on-ramp is there for 128.
Yep.
I can just add a little clarification as well. We've been working with Sam here for a little bit now. They first approached us about, like you said, the potential for a coffee shop, and had let us know about their process of intention to file us the A&R here before you this evening, and then file this site plan. I had asked Sam that I know in the past the board had liked the full picture when reviewing an A&R. So I'd asked Sam to be able to present this evening as well what the plan would be so that the board could see this. I think the one big thing to note on this A&R is that there's no, and Sam, maybe you can just explain this a little bit more to the board better than I can, but there is no easement labeled on the plan, but there is, and again, I'll let Sam explain, there's a like general easement for the area, but Sam, please explain that to the board.
Can you guys see this exhibit? I actually have 11 by 17s as well, if it's easier to view as well. Would you guys like to see them? Yeah.
The board might want to also just accept the three. He's got all three of these images that he's shown tonight. Well, actually, one's the A&R plan, but the other's the rendering and the easement plan if the board wishes to accept those.
There's 15 copies of each. So. This is just the A&R, right? Correct. The second. So there's 15 A&Rs and then 15 exhibits and then 15 renderings. They are, yeah.
And then here's the easement plan.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I move to receive as late ads 3 documents, 2 drawings and a photograph, if you will, in regards to number 1 Newbury Street. Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Vote, okay.
Am I going to proceed? Okay, so as it was mentioned previously, we're going to use the existing curb cut of the
Again, I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. We're going to use the existing curb cut of the hotel, the right in, right out. And this exhibit, EXA, is going to be part of the declaration of covenants and easements that's going to be recorded upon the creation of this parcel. And what this declaration is going to do is it's going to provide the new lot with indirect access to the lot through the existing hotel parcel, utility access to Corporate Place. Once the development is provided, it will actually cover maintenance, snow removal, stormwater runoff, anything associated with maintenance and utilities and infrastructure. And so that we have a draft at this point. And I mentioned to Andrew, we've dealt with other municipalities that prefer to review it as well before it's recorded. And we can certainly provide a copy of the declaration for review prior to recording of said declaration.
Any other questions from the board? Yes.
I do, through the chair. Thank you. So I guess what you're talking about is, on this easement drawing you provided, is what you're identifying as critical areas, the blue hash? That's where your potential customers for this establishment will be able to travel to get to where they got to get?
Right, correct. Now, the owner will have rights over the whole lot for access, but these are just the areas that he's designated as critical from a maintenance.
So which owner are you talking about? The owner of the proposed lot?
The owner of the proposed lot, yes, the future owner. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So I'm wondering how this affects the hotel losing all these parking spaces.
So in the site plan review submission, that's explained pretty detailed, and it's compliant from a zoning and parking standpoint. Both lots are.
So do certain parking spaces get identified as, I don't know, coffee shop only?
There are, yep, in the site plan.
And is there a drive-through?
Yep, there's a drive-through, yep.
And there's all kinds of queuing room?
Yep, and I think the queue is 16 vehicles. It's significant for tenant specifications.
Okay. And I guess likely that it would tend not to conflict with the restaurant that is there, because you probably work at nights, and this is probably working days.
Correct. The hours are kind of morning and afternoon versus afternoon and evening for the restaurant.
Okay, thank you. One more thing. So, on the northerly part of this parcel, kind of where that Corporate Place kind of opens up,
Yep.
there's a bunch of trucks up there.
Yeah.
Tree cutting, landscape, bucket trucks, and quite frankly, it's not at all appealing to me, and I don't even know if there's any permitting needed to park tractor trailers and whatnot, and I can't imagine why those are there. And does your client or the client that owns the hotel intend on keeping those there?
So,
Because they're in the picture here, kinda.
yeah, I
But they
noticed
look
that.
prettiher here.
Yeah. So when we came for a pre-application meeting with the city, that was a concern from the police department as well as the planning department. And this, obviously, with the new layout of that parking area, it's going to be virtually impossible for a tractor trailer or a large truck to get up into that area now.
So unless they go in through Linfield and go down Green Street and come around onto,
onto Corporate Place.
yeah, Green to Corporate, right.
Yeah, no, and it's not the intention of our applicant, which is the new lot, to have that be maintained. Obviously, from a coffee shop standpoint, he doesn't want tractor trailers parking right next door to it or whatever is parked there.
Okay.
So no, that's not the intention for that to be maintained or continued. But I'm sure that will be more so discussed in the site plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, I would accept the motion.
Diane, you were able to hear all of that?
I didn't hear the motion.
There's no motion yet. We just wanted to make sure that you were able to hear.
I was, thank you.
All set? Mr. Chairman, I would move an approval of an A&R plan of land in Peabody, Massachusetts, a parcel identified as 1 Newbury Street. The date on the drawing is March 7th, 2023. Plan is prepared by Northeast Survey Consultants, and the plan was prepared for Solely Engineering. Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Dr. Otto. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right, here's the fun part. Can we get the Mylar signed by everyone? And then, we're going to have to get Diane's signature. So you might have to, Diane, we'll chat about when you can maybe stop by City Hall and just sign this.
Perfect. I can drop by tomorrow.
We are unfortunately closed tomorrow.
Good Friday.
Yep. Three copies signed, please.
Thank you, guys.
Next item on the agenda is site building permit plan review for 190R Newbury Street, map 35, lot 035A.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to receive as a late Ave a revised site plan for 190 Rear Newbury Street. This was one of the conditions of approval. The date on the plan is April 28th, 2020.
Did you say, is there revision dates? Revised 3/30.
Okay, I stand corrected. The revised plan is March 30th, 2023. Again, for 190 Rear Newbury, for Cy Tenney Residences, and prepared by Hayes Engineering of Wakefield, Mass. Move to receive.
Second.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just a reminder to the board, this item is now in front of the city council for their special permit request.
Item on the agenda is 55 Pulaski Street, map 53, lot 029.
There was no letter from Bob. That's fine. On that matter, I would respectfully ask that the matter be continued to your next meeting, because in this instance, we are awaiting a closeout memorandum from Bob Langley. Mr. Langley and I have discussed our contribution to the Dobbs Road pump station issue, and when we see that memorandum, I believe that my client will be fully accepting of the amount that he has placed in that memorandum. So I would respectfully request that, that being, I hope, the last issue, that this matter be continued to your next meeting.
Attorney Kelty, would you mind going a week beyond that in case there's an issue?
No, I don't mind. So that takes me to,
What is that date?
what is it, 20? Okay.
27? Mr. Chairman, I move to allow the petitioner of 55 Pulaski to grant him an extension of time to act until April 27th, 2023.
Have a second?
Second.
Dr. Otto, second. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Was there any, I didn't need to give you a continuance on the 190 rear because our submission of that plan complied, correct?
Next item on the agenda is correspondence. Anybody have any questions, any of the correspondence listed in the packet?
I believe I'm on there, right? Is that where I have no other matters?
Hearing none, other matters properly before the board. You can go to your,
We'll start with fees.
what?
Should we start with the fees?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, you should have seen in your meeting packets this week that there was in there a memorandum from myself to the board and the chairman, updating the board on our meeting of the site plan application fee subcommittee. We had a great discussion. Myself, board members Roy, John, and Joe Gagnon. We had great discussion. We came up with a proposed fee schedule that we believe works. That fee schedule is that for every site plan application filed in the city of Peabody now would be a $500 base fee. Then every 1,000 square feet of proposed and building envelope, every 1,000 square feet over 5,000 square feet of the building envelope would be another $50 added to the application. In that memo, it kind of breaks down a little bit of an example. How this is set up is that currently Section 12 of the city's zoning ordinance explicitly states that a fee of $100 should be included with the site plan application. So for this fee change to take effect, we would have to change the zoning ordinance, which the Community Development Department is prepared to file to do so. I would say that this board, prior to doing that, if they wish to discuss that fee change, and then submit a letter that the board, that myself and Community Development Director Kurt Bellavance could then submit to the City Council as well, endorsing this fee change, or we can discuss it this evening and change those numbers. We felt like these numbers, and Mr. Simoes and Mr. Ford can discuss this as well, but we felt that these numbers were pretty in line with our communities around us. We felt like they were pretty fair, and we felt like they were pretty needed. So that was the update. Again, the new fee schedule would be $500 for a base fee for all applications up to 5,000 square feet of proposed building envelope. So this is not including if you're doing like 7 stories, which I don't even think is actually allowed. But if you're doing 2 stories, it wouldn't count each floor. It would just count the building envelope. And then for every 1,000 square feet you go up over 5,000, it is $50 more. Any questions? I'm sure we'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board? Dr. Otto?
Do you really need to say gross floor area? Can you just simply refer to the building, the square feet of the building, sorry, Tom, building envelope? It seems a little confusing because gross floor area does mean something different. It doesn't mean building envelope. Footprint, yeah.
Footprint.
That is fine. We could do building footprint. We will note that. I guess so what we're looking for tonight is that if the board would, I know we have a kind of a smaller board here, but it seemed like everybody was pretty in favor. But what we could do is, if the board wishes to vote on a letter of recommendation that you endorse this proposed zoning change. And so how I attached what the zoning proposal is going to look like, the draft at least, is that it would now explicitly tell you to go see the new section. Off the top of my head, I forget what the section, the new one, I think it's a section 12.18 is what it would create now. Sorry, yes, it would create new section 12.18 fee schedule, and this would break down an application fee. I forgot to add as well, we're proposing a max fee of nothing to be over $10,000.
Mr. Chairman, as chair of the subcommittee, I would recommend that the board adopt the new fee structure for site plan application fees.
And submit a letter to this.
Oh,
And submit a letter to the city council to,
And the Board of Appeals, right?
You would just be to the city council.
Just for the city.
again, I would move to recommend the board adopt the changes of the new fee structures and proceed as ever necessary to adopt said changes.
This is, same, oh, sorry, I'll let it.
Mr. Chairman, move to send a letter to the city council endorsing the new fee structure and letting the council know that we all wish to have that approved.
I can't hear. I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right, and then the next item on the agenda there is, so for about a little over the past year, I've been working with BSC Group and a great steering committee of residents in the city of Peabody, updating our recreation and open space plan. I will try to keep this as brief as possible. I sent out, I believe, to everybody the draft of the plan for you to review in a draft link. It's all right if you did not read it. It's not a big deal. I have a small slideshow that I would like to do that I think might help. Sorry, let me just pull it up really quickly. one. Sorry, everyone. Doing it right now. All right, I'm going to skip the slideshow for the sake of all time. But some of you might not be familiar with what the Recreation and Open Space Plan is. Some of you might, but just really briefly, what is a Recreation and Open Space Plan? This is a comprehensive document that outlines and coordinates all of our local efforts related to all of parks, recreation, and open spaces in our city. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about everything from a baseball field to a basketball court to a conservation area. This is all considered open space in our city. You are required to have one by the state, and they're required to be updated every 7 years. We last updated our plan in 2015. And so we are finalizing our 2023 update right now. I would say one of the most critical and important pieces of a recreation and open space plan is that you need to create this 7-year action plan of items that you wish to get done in relation to your recreation and open space. So I'll get back to that in a second, but just really briefly before that, some items, since 2015 that we've completed. We constructed the Emerson Park Multimodal Pathway. We assumed management of Tilly's Farm since 2015. We constructed the South Peabody Trail System, which that actually includes the Mayor Bonfanti Nature Trail and the Sydney Pond Trails as well. We've installed bike racks at bike repair stations at different trailheads. We've revitalized a couple different parks, Lakeshore Park and Mars Park. We actually put in new pickleball courts. We've advanced funding on our greenway projects and Independence Greenway expansion, and we're actually going to start construction on helping mitigate drainage issues on the Kristen Crowley Trail, which that's the Maine to Florida, border to Boston, East Coast Greenway spur trail right by the Speedway. So back to this 7-year action plan. You develop the 7-year action plan from these goals. We had put out a citywide survey. We had gotten back 311 responses to that survey in a few different languages, and we used those responses, the steering committee and BSC group and myself, and we helped develop these 6 goals, 4 of which were pretty similar to the 2015 goals. They're very important, but 2 new ones in there that we felt like really represented what a 2023 plan needs. The first one being that when we look at our recreation and open spaces, we take into account climate resiliency with these, and the second being that equity is forefront with these parks and open spaces, that everybody in our city is welcome in these parks. So using that, we were able to develop a 7-year action plan to help us meet these. And so how the action plan is broken down is that there is your overall goal, there's an objective on how to reach that goal, and then there's action items on how you meet all of that. The link's online. I've sent it to everybody if you'd wish to review it further. We don't have to do it at this meeting. If you have read it and you do have a response, it would be nice, but would be looking for a letter of recommendation from the planning board on this recreation and open space plan. If you have read it and the board feels comfortable to vote tonight, that'd be great. It's been sent out to everybody, but it's a really amazing document, very comprehensive and extremely important for our city as we move forwards.
I have a motion to adopt.
Not adopt, it would be a motion just to, recommend, and you can even add in anything that for example, you could say we recommend, we endorse this plan and, we look for the city to incorporate more private-public partnerships with open. You could put in anything that you wished. You could say you want to see stuff in there, or you could just say we endorse this plan upon review.
I have not had a chance to read it, and where we're down like 5 other people, I would think that maybe we want to, maybe not the next meeting, but the meeting after the next one, maybe we want to have an action item to do it then, so everybody can have a chance to comment on it. Does that make sense? So it's basically like in a month?
Ideally, we get it done at the next meeting. We're pretty much done with it. We're just looking for these final letters right now.
Okay, well, how about a memo by email to everybody, including us, who wasn't here, and then we address it in 2 weeks? Can we do that?
I'll resend
I make that motion.
Yeah, I'll resend it out to everybody. I don't even know if you guys need a motion for that. I'll just resend the plan out to everybody with a letter asking you what I wish you to review.
Yeah, but also saying that we would like to have the board's recommendation or approval, that endorsement that night. And then everybody will know that they've got an action item to tend to. Thank you.
Just a clarification, Drew. Have we gone permanently from 5 years to 7-year intervals? Yeah. So that's not a COVID thing, that's forward in time? Yeah. Much better, I think. Yeah, 7 years, it would be originally, yes, it's done now.
Yep, just to wrap it up, I will again send the link out to the plan to the board. I will tell you we've sent the first and what we believe to be almost the final draft of this plan off to the state to review. We're still awaiting that right now. We had a really great public meeting earlier this week where we got a lot of great feedback to add to the plan, and so we are finalizing that document right now. Next steps would be to take all of that feedback, add it in, take these letters of endorsement and that we receive, and then submit all of this to the state for a final approval. Also mentioned that if an approved recreation and open space plan qualifies the city to apply for and receive many different state funds.
Any other matters properly before the board? If not, I'll accept the motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second? All those in favor? And again, thank you all for squeezing 5 of us in tonight.